Hi, my name is Michael Schaefer. I'm the Director of Substance Use Programming at Affiliated Clinical Services in West Bend, Wisconsin. Thanks for joining me today. We're starting a new video series talking about addiction in our community and what we can do in treatment to help support those who are in recovery. Over the past decade, we've been working really hard to raise awareness about the opioid epidemic that now everyone seems to know about. But 10 years ago, when we would talk about it to people, they would hardly even know that prescription painkillers were an opiate at all. And heroin was rarely talked about. Now, I'm happy to say that people in our society have really gotten the message. And almost everyone I talk about is familiar with this epidemic that's going on all around us. And headlines in newspapers and on TV talk shows consistently talk about what we can do to make our society a safer place to reduce addiction to opiates. But, as so often it seems, when we focus on just one thing, we lose track of other things that are going on in our society. And here today, I want to start a conversation again about an addiction to a substance that's all around us and is actually causing way more harm than any other substance. And that's alcohol. See, because it's so common in our society, we don't even really see that it's there. And yet, year after year, alcohol is destroying more people's lives than any other drug. In fact, we know that more people die of alcohol-related causes than even die from opioid deaths. Now, the sad point is that those deaths often go unreported, and it just falls into the backdrop in our society. And although we know the numbers are really high based on statistics, and we know the cost in society just keeps building and building, I, as a therapist, I don't see the world from that view from 20,000 feet. I see it on an individual basis, day by day. I see families ripped apart because alcohol has destroyed one of the loved ones who now is acting in a way that they would never act without alcohol in their lives. I see children pulled away from their families, not willing to have the tough conversations necessary to fully change their life and come back together. I see people fearful of being open and honest with their employer because they know that they need to take time off to get into addiction treatment, to go to detox, to really make a change in their life, but they're too ashamed to say the reason why. And yet it's that shame, and that's that guilt, and that's unwillingness to look at ourselves, to look at our loved ones, and have a real conversation that holds so many people stuck in this cycle of addiction. So it's my call to everyone listening out there today to look into our own hearts and look into our families and ask ourselves, is alcohol impacting our lives? Is it impacting our loved ones? And now is the time to not be silent. Now is the time to speak up. We've got so many great tools in therapy, in medications, and even some new novel technologies to help support people to change their life. And not only that, many people who are struggling with alcohol can just practice moderation with their drinking. Well, many others do need to quit altogether, but there's help. And so we're asking you again to start that conversation, to not leave this to be a taboo subject that we refuse to talk about, because it's what we can't talk about that holds us back. Thanks so much again for joining me, and we're going to be continuing this video series going forward, offering tips and suggestions, ways to start the conversation, new information, and resources to reach out and speak up. Thanks so much.